Hi, Ben here. So, you've seen my Help Wanted ad. Well, I've gotten a lot of response from that Help Wanted ad, and I decided instead of messaging each person back individually, I would answer some basic questions here. So, if you have questions that aren't answered in this video, feel free to contact me at benthebondsman@gmail.com or on my Ben the Bondsman or 1A Professional Bail Bonds Facebook pages, or the phone number and email address provided in the ad that you may have seen. So, one of the main questions I'm getting is, what do I need to do to be a bail agent? Okay, so your first step is, one, you don't want to have any major things on your background. All right, I'd hate for you to go spend a lot of money to get into this business and then you wind up being told you can't because you have some major stuff on your background. What I mean by major stuff is, felonies. Some felonies, under certain conditions, they will let you have a license. You'll need to go to the Department of Insurance website and check to see what those are. Some misdemeanors will prevent you from getting a license. I'm not going to get into specifics on this video because those specifications change every year. So by the time somebody else sees this video, well, it might be different. So check with the Department of Insurance, check on their website, or give me a call and I can tell you what the conditions are right now. So now that that's clear, to get your license in Mississippi, you have to sign up for a pre-license education course. Right now, there are two providers for the pre-license education course, but the one that we go to is the Mississippi Bail Agents Association. And to get information on that, you go to msbail.org. I'll put a link down in the description so you can find it. You go to their events calendar and it'll say on there when the classes are. Now, they don't schedule the next class till the current class is over with. So right now they have one scheduled for February 5th, 2018, and they'll schedule the next one after that. All right, the class to pre-register for that class is $1,350 if you pre-register. If you register after a certain date, it's $100 more, so $1,450. Okay. Other costs associated with that are most people have to rent a hotel room because the class is a 40-hour class. It's a week long and it's held in Jackson. And if you don't live within driving distance of the class, you got to rent a hotel room. You'll have to pay $50 to get a fingerprint background check done through the Mississippi Department of Insurance, and that's done only at the Mississippi Department of Insurance. So you can't go to your local sheriff's department, have them do your fingerprints and submit that. The department has to do them themselves. Okay. Once you've completed the course, you've completed the fingerprints, now you've got to take your test. There's a proxy test given at different areas around the state of Mississippi. Now, I've been told that you have to take your proxy test in the area that you live in, but I happen to personally know a couple of agents that didn't want to wait, so they went to different areas and took their test. That test costs $100 for every time you take it, which means is if you fail it the first time, go home, study, go back, take it another time. That's an additional $100. I have known agents that have had to take the test more than once, not because they didn't get it or they didn't understand the material, just because the test didn't cover what the material was harped on. So sometimes agents do have to take the test more than once. So now if you pre-register, after you pre-register and your fingerprints and your test, you're up to $1,500, all right, just for the pre-license requirements. All right, now we don't pay for that. My company doesn't pay for that. There are some companies out there that will, but they'll usually pay you a lower percentage rate than what we pay. We tend to pay our agents better, so we don't provide the class. And besides, if you pay for your own class and you make your own investment, then you're more likely to take this job more seriously than if somebody sends you through the class. Now, it seems like a large investment. You know, you're $1,500 into the class, and then a couple $100 for a hotel room for 3 or 4 nights. You know, that you're in pretty good at that point. Another question that gets asked to me a lot is, how fast can I make that money back? Well, I've known agents to make it back in their first week of writing bonds. I've known agents it took them a few weeks, but you always make your money back. It's a good, sound investment. Bail bonding is a good career. It's a good career choice. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of stress. It's adventurous. It's boring. You know, it's an interesting job and an interesting field to be in. Now let's move on to actually getting licensed. Once you've got your test, your class, your fingerprints, and your test out of the way, now you got to actually apply for the license. There's 2 license types or 2 license classes that you can get if you don't have any experience, and that's bail enforcement and bail soliciting. Your bail enforcement agent goes out and puts people back in jail. Your bail soliciting agent are the people that go out and get people out of jail. Now, there's a lot of people, and this industry attracts people that really just want to do the bail enforcement part. I can tell you from experience, it's very difficult to make a decent, steady living as just a bail enforcement agent. And most of your money is made in the soliciting side, in the writing side of the business. I always recommend to my agents to get both the bail enforcement and bail soliciting. That way you can do both jobs. All right, so there's no point in going to the class, spending a bunch of money, and skimping on $40 to not get one license. Each license is $40 each. So you fill out your application to the Department of Insurance. At this point, you have to have a professional bail agent to sign off on your license. Whether it's a limited surety, which is somebody that's backed by insurance, or a personal surety, which is what I am, and that's somebody that backs their own bonds, you have to have a professional agent to sign off on your license. All right, you have to be a soliciting agent under a professional agent for a minimum of 3 years before you can get your own personal professional agent license and open your own company. You know, that's a whole different bag of worms. But I get that question. Almost everybody I talk to is curious, how do I open my own? And that's how you open your own. You come work for somebody for 3 years, then you qualify to be a professional agent, and then you got to get your financial ducks in a row and stuff to apply for that license. So there you have it. About a $1,800 investment, and you can be a licensed agent. So the next main question that we get is, how do I make money in this business, and how much can I make? So I'll give you a quick recap of what we do, just in case you don't know. So let's just say somebody gets stopped, either pulled over at a roadblock, it don't matter, and they get arrested for DUI. That's one of our most common bonds in our area is DUI. So they get taken down to the county jail, or to the police department, and they get to call a family member or bondsman. Usually they call a bondsman. So we get a phone call that says, hey, I'm down here at such and such police department for DUI. My bond is $1,500. So we charge them 10% if they live in Mississippi, 15% if they live out of Mississippi. But for this, they're going to live in Mississippi, plus a $50 processing fee for every bond. So we go down to the police department. Their bond is $1,500. They got to pay us $150 for the bond premium, the 10%, and $50 for the processing fee. So we're going to collect a total of $200. All right. The agent that wrote that bond will get a percentage of the $150, a percentage of the 10%, the premium. So you come back to the office to settle up your report. to settle up the money, and you're going to pay the office the whole processing fee plus the office's percentage of that $150. And our percentages range from 35 to 45%. Less experienced agents are going to be more towards the 35%. More experienced agents are going to be more towards the 45%. So it doesn't take long to start making 45% if you get a grasp on this business and how it works and when to write a bond and when not to write a bond. We screen bonds. We don't have to go down to the jail and write every bond that calls. Matter of fact, we turn down more than we write because it's not all about the money. But that's part of training and stuff like that. But agents make really good money in this business. It's not hard as an agent to bring home a six-figure income. It can be hard if you're not good at the job. You know, I'm not going to blow smoke up your skirt. If you're not good at this job, then you probably won't do well. I've had a lot of calls recently asking about being an agent part-time. You know, it's a large investment, and if you have the extra money to go to the class, to be a part-time agent, I'm not going to stop you. But you won't make your investment back as fast. You really have to be available when that call comes in. You have to be Johnny on the spot. I do know of some part-time agents that do pretty well, but it's because of the people that they know, not necessarily the industry. You know, they know a lot of people that get in a lot of trouble, so you know they get a lot of business that way. So there's a lot of different ways to get business in this industry. There's a lot of different ways to make money, and you can do really well in this business. But you have to get that pre-licensing squared away, and you have to get your license from the Department of Insurance. The time it takes from beginning to end, from the time that you go to the class to the time that you start writing bonds, is about 6 weeks, give or take. And really that just depends on how long it takes the Department of Insurance to process your paperwork and get your license out to you. Anyway, I hope that answers most of your questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to call me, email me, message me on Facebook, or you know, however, get a hold of me. That's all for now. Ben the Bondsman signing out. Have a good day.